Hey YouTubers, it's your friendly neighborhood Captain Endman. How are you all doing today on this lovely day? I've made a few videos by now, but I've never really gotten a chance to be able to talk to you guys. Like, I want to know what you're thinking, like what questions you have and stuff. That's why I decided to make a Q&A video. Now, in the end of the video, I'll tell you guys how you can ask me a question, how you can send me a question, either by Gmail or Facebook. For this video, I simply asked my friends on Facebook, and then I simply chose a few of the questions and I'm going to answer it in today's video. So let's get started. The first question today, Jared asks, who's your favorite Spider-Man slash Peter Parker and why? I love both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, but the answer is simple for me. It is Tom Holland for both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Tom Holland just captures just the tone and the essence of who Spider-Man is from the comics and who Peter Parker is. Now, while Tobey Maguire was he was a great Peter Parker and Andrew Garfield was a great Spider-Man, I just feel like Tom Holland is like a perfect mix of the two. Like he's a great Spider-Man and Peter Parker. He just embodies like who the characters are so well that the first time I saw Civil War, I just fell in love with Tom Holland's Spider-Man because his Peter Parker and Spider-Man are just so comic book accurate that Tom Holland has to be my favorite Spider-Man and my favorite Peter Parker. Now let's move on to my second question, and that comes from Manon, who asks, who do you think the next James Bond should be? Funny that you asked this question because many people were speculating whether Daniel Craig would return, but recently Craig did confirm that he will return to play the next James Bond, which is awesome because I think his Bond is the best Bond we've had on screen. But my guess is that Craig will only do one more James Bond movie, which means that there has to be someone else who's going to take up the mantle of James Bond. And for that, I narrowed my list of a couple of actors who I would love to see as the next Bond. And those two actors are Tom Hiddleston and Idris Elba. I pictured Tom Hiddleston's Bond being a more Roger Moore-esque Bond, as in more cooler, a more suave Bond. I can totally see him having fun, just making the Bond movies more campier, but also really, really fun. On the other hand, I picture Idris Elba's Bond as being more hardcore, just more grittier, like Daniel Craig's. Either of those actors to play Bond would be great castings for this iconic character, but if I had to choose one right now, after Craig retires from playing Bond, I would go with Tom Hiddleston's Bond because the last four Bond movies have been grittier, just more darker, and I think it's time for a change. We could have Tom Hiddleston playing Bond for many movies, he can make the movies more fun as I mentioned before, and then we can have Idris Elba play the character of James Bond. Now let's move on to the next question, and the next question comes from Tue, who asks, what is the best movie of 2017 so far? Oh boy, we've got many great films this year, like Logan, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man, The Big Sick, Lego Batman, John Wick Chapter 2, Baby Driver, Get Out, Power Rangers, and the list goes on and on. Here's a list of the top 5 movies of 2017 so far in no particular order. The Big Sick, Get Out, Logan, Wonder Woman, and War for the Planet of the Apes. I think the best movie of the year so far has to be Logan, with a very close second position in The Big Sick. Logan is not only the best movie of the year so far, it is also one of the best superhero films of all time. It just dived so deep into the characters of Logan and Professor X, and it put them in a more real world with the real problems people face every day. Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart also gave Oscar-worthy performances, and Logan also felt like a satisfying conclusion to Hugh Jackman's time as Wolverine, almost 17 plus years. So I think so far Logan is the best movie of the year, and Logan deserves some love from the Academy Awards. Now let's move on to the penultimate question of the day, and that comes from Sankit, who writes, what is Planet Hulk, and do you think it will be featured in the MCU? Well, Sankit, you have asked this question in the perfect time because Thor Ragnarok is going to be hitting theaters in a couple of months, and in the few trailers that we've seen so far, we see a gladiator-looking Hulk. Planet Hulk is a story in the comics where the Illuminati, which consisted of Iron Man, Black Panther, Mr. Fantastic, Black Bolt, Doctor Strange, and Professor X, deem Hulk to be too dangerous to be on Earth, and that is why they trick him by sending him to deep space. However, through a wormhole, the Hulk ends up on Sakaar, a planet where he gets enslaved by the planet's dictator, the Red King. He is then forced to fight others in an arena for the enjoyment of the Red King. Soon, the Hulk starts a rebellion to defeat the Red King, That is the basic story of Planet Hulk. Now, of course, I skipped many details for the sake of time, but you guys should check out the comic because it's a really interesting comic. It's a great Hulk comic. Now, fun fact, Planet Hulk leads right into World War Hulk, another comic series where an enraged Hulk, after events of Planet Hulk, returns to Earth to fight all the heroes of the Marvel Universe. And boy, shit goes down. But to answer your second question, Sanket, will we see it in the MCU? And the answer is yes and no. Now, we're gonna see the basic elements of Planet Hulk, like him landing in Sakaar and fighting other monsters in an arena, but I don't think we're gonna see the Illuminati or the Red King per se. The movies will change how he gets there because in the end of Avengers Age of Ultron, he's in a Quinjet alone. And right now I'm going to be speculating, but I think he lands in Sakaar via a portal, as we see here in this picture from the Thor Ragnarok trailer. Again, it's just speculation at this point, but I think that's how he's going to land in Sakaar. But yes, some elements of Planet Hulk will be used in the Thor Ragnarok movie, and the Hulk will fight Thor in the arena for the amusement of the Grand Master, unlike the Red King in the comics. Now let's move on to the last question of the day, and that comes from Liam, who asks, what got you into superhero stuff? Now, I don't exactly remember what exact moment or situation got me into superhero stuff, but from what I can remember, it's gotta be Spider-Man 2, because I vividly remember watching Spider-Man 2, especially the Doctor Octopus versus Spidey fight scene on the train, and I was blown away by it. The movie not only had great action, but also had a lot of emotion and character development for Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and that just got me very interested in knowing more about this character from the comics. Spider-Man 2 is literally my first gateway to comics, and that movie will always have a special place in my heart because it got me exposed to an incredible varieties of comics and characters that I never even thought existed before. So guys, thank you so much for sending me questions about all these topics and stuff. It was really interesting answering the questions. It was just super fun, and I hope you send more of these questions. Now, the way you can contact me or you can send me a question is either by Gmail at namancricketfan@gmail.com, or you can just Facebook message me at capnman on Facebook. That is my name. Or just comment below in this video and I'm gonna take a question for my next Q&A video. So please like, please subscribe, and stay spicy.